All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Ministry Revealed. It is December 16th, 2018. Hope you guys are having a great weekend, enjoying some time away. Calgary has been nice. The weather is warmer for the past, at least week. Even though my garage, I could see my breath again, got the heater going. It's not that warm in Calgary. We call what you in America they'd say 32, we'd call zero, right? So it's like 0 or 32 right now. But for being mid-December, that is pretty good for us, all right? And we've got more of it, so this is great. So I was thinking about, I was debating mostly yesterday whether I was going to go in and do a part 4. So the last video was a part 4, which is really about the pre, mid, and post tribulation rapture. And then we touched on what I was originally going to do that video about, which is funny just how the Spirit leads us, because I really was just planning on going into the books, but was just led, and as I was typing, just started going down, and it was just leading me right into the pre, mid, and post. So we did that, and we ended with a little bit of who the books are speaking to. And I had some requests because a lot of people really like and want to understand more of who the books are speaking to, because we have opened so many books, right? The Spirit working through the ministry here, we've been able to come into an understanding of a lot of books in their relation to speaking to end times, right? For those that are new to this channel, that's what this channel is all about. I say channel only because it's on YouTube, but that's what this ministry is about. It is end times. It is the books that have been opened and are continuously opening to us, Holy Spirit led, as we're making our way through and coming into the understanding. And so I was thinking of doing a part 4B and a part 4C. So there's probably going to be a part 4B for sure, and most likely, a part C. But I really wasn't planning on doing it for this next video. And yesterday I was just kind of humming and hawing back and forth. And, I could put a 4 or 5 page study note on it probably within, 3 to 4 hours. And then do a teaching on it like I did with the other ones. But I just wasn't feeling it yet. And I wanted to do another video in between. But, I've got a few things here and there. But there was nothing that was really jumping out at me until late yesterday. And we're going to get into that today. I hadn't looked and gone into the book of Esdra, 2nd Esdra, right? Or people will call it 4 Ezra, 4 Ezra or Ezra 4. Right? So sorry. It's called 2nd Esdras, but it is also referred to as Ezra 4. All right? It's one of his other books that the Jews have in their books, but it is not. I think it actually was part of the canon, but it was removed many years back. And I've gone to it a number of times, but when I've taught it with you guys, I've never gone, and when I teach that portion of it, I've never gone further into the teaching. And this morning I decided, well, you know what? I'm just going to, for some reason, I don't even know why I brought up the book. But I was talking to one of our brothers, Keith Klein, and saying that, we regularly need to go back, maybe once a quarter, but at least every, 4, 5, 6 months, go back and reread these books that we thought we understood, that we got some end time understanding in, and go back and reread them again. And as we do, because we've learned more over those past few months, we go back into them, and man, it just keeps exploding with more and more revelation and understanding. And that is no different than what we're going to talk about today with 2nd Esdra. And I was just praying for something else. Just lead me in something that's relevant. Lead me, Lord, in something that I can we can show a little bit more and really give people an understanding of the time. And guys, it led me, like I said, into the 2nd Esdra book. And it started off with this yesterday. And it's here in Jeremiah 50 regarding first the king of Assyria, then the last, King Nebuchadnezzar. All right, so we'll go into that in a minute. But before I get into that, I want to let you guys know I am going to do a separate video, all right? Just so you guys know, I want to introduce first what we've done here, and then I won't be talking about it many times in other videos except to point people to the how-to video. All right, so we're going to add things, whether it's, let's show you, for example, in the 14 tribulation years, you know, maybe like right here, we're going to have like a little button or something here that will say, click here to, you know, for a how-to, for example, on how to download videos and study notes, and then also as well as how to use the forum. All right, so we'll put it on a place like this. We'll put it on the videos page. We'll put it on the study notes page, maybe something in here as well as on the study notes page, all right? And the reason is because I want people to understand, right? I want people to know how to download these videos without me having to go in and explain to people every time, all right? It's very simple. You click on it first, the video will come up, it starts playing, you just pause it, right click, and it says download, download as or save as, and boom, you just save it to your computer. But I'm going to have a separate video of that, okay, which we've talked about this before, but I will have a separate video that is going to be posted throughout the website that's going to teach people how to do that. And on top of that, look guys, we have the forums. I emailed a number of you saying that we would put it under ministry, and we did have the original one there, but we've upgraded to a better one, an easier to use one that allows private conversations amongst groups, just a real awesome forum. So I wanted to let you guys know that it's over here now. It's in the top tabs, and I want to show you guys briefly how it works. But like I said, just pay attention for this part, and in the future I won't go through it over and over again, except to tell people they can click here to understand how to do it. All right, so we can see some people have already posted some things. You can see things like my feed, all posts, and then you could do a search. All right, for example, if I wanted to do a search, welcome, I could search. Boom. See, just like we would do an eSort, if you do Control F on something on the internet, it'll bring you all the topics that have that in it. All right, so that's pretty awesome. But you'll notice that I'm not signed in. If I wanted to, let's say I wanted to click and see what Keith Klein put here. So you have prayers for Connie. Now, see, these are all closed off. All right, I can see them without logging in. You can see I'm not logged in yet. Okay, so I could still come in here and view them. I could see what it's about, but once I've viewed them, I just click it again and it closes. So once they've been viewed, they'll all be closed. All right, so that's pretty cool. But now I want to show you something. For example, if I wanted to reply, so see, here's other people. Thanks, Brother PS, it works. We were just talking. See, this is Ministry Revealed. We were just talking about the fact that the forum works. And then there's Disciple Tabitha, another Tabitha 77, and it says praying. Now, if I wanted to click and send a reply here, I could type it in, but look what it tells me to do. You have to log in before you could reply. All right, so let's do that right now. I'm just going to log in under my personal one, and you'll see what shows up here. You're going to have many options. All right, so you can click on more options if you don't want to sign in with these. You have all of these login options. All right. Now, Google, of course, I would use Google because I don't have Facebook and Twitter and all those other things. But if you don't have Facebook and Twitter or Google or any of those, but you must have Google if you're watching the videos on YouTube. But if you don't, you could always come over here and create a new account. All right, and you can have your own separate account to log in. And that's what we've done here. Sorry, no, I didn't do that one for my personal one. I'm using the YouTube one. All right, so I just click on Google. I choose my account. And then, boom, instantly logged in. See, Al Dubray, you can go in here and you could change your image. However, don't do that yet. Most of you will have your same images as you have on YouTube. But if you add a separate email account or a separate login, I should say, right now we're not sure why the image isn't working, but we've put a call in to see what the issue is there. Okay, so see, now you'll see I can come down here and look, boom, I could type what I want. There's no more login. It just says reply. All right, so boom, I could post something, say hello, and it's instantly posted. Instantly. The other thing you can do is look right here. You can upload images. All right, so if you have something that you'd want to add, you want to show people an image of something, or just that you're praying for them, whatever it is in this case, you can just upload your image there. You see, it's pretty awesome. Now, here's another thing. I want to say like this comment. All right, I've already liked it, but I'm going to show you something. So this is in regards to Keith Klein. You see, his wife, best friend, they've found breast issues, and 12/27, they will be doing biopsies. Please pray the blood of Jesus over this, and I think that's North Carolina. Thanks, brothers and sisters. All right, so again, where do we find this one? In prayer requests. So guys, I would recommend everybody go and give them a prayer, if you will, all right? A blessing. And you can come over here, see prayer requests, revelations, right? People, see he added one here. Jimmy has also added one. See, I've closed them off. I've seen it. People, if they have dreams, they can add them. There's none there yet. And then look over here, we've got questions. All right? So you can just click over here. So you have the things that are in your feed. You have all posts. And then you can come over here and go into each category individually. So now, for example, let me show you something. We'll go back into this prayer for Connie from Keith Klein. And we can see here, if I want to do a like. So see, when I pass over every one of them, it gives me the option for a like. So let me come here and I can show you what happens in a like. Boom, see, a heart shows up to show that that one's been liked. All right, kind of like I guess YouTube does. All right, so there's like and unlike. And then what I can do is I can click on the hearts that Keith Klein has, and I can see there's one from Ministry Revealed, and there's one from Mr. New Stuff. If I wanted to, I could then send Mr. New Stuff by clicking on him. I could send him a private message. All right, let's just click on it and I'll show you. See, and it says send a private message. So if I liked what he was talking about and I wanted to maybe get together and do a prayer thing for Keith and for his wife Connie, then I can communicate with them. You see, guys, it is awesome. See, watch for replies. If I click on this icon, which is this little eye for watch for replies, it will go into my feed. All right? And if you heart something, it'll go into your feed. But you could stop it. You can un-eye it, right? You can unmark the eye, and no more that are in your feeds will show up there anymore. All right? It'll end after the one that you just saw. So there's a lot of easy options. And guys, look, you can just add your own topic too. See, here's another thing you can do. So see, do you want it under prayer requests? Where would you like it under? Oh, for some reason the drop down isn't working, but look, it's over here anyways. So you can come into Revelation. See, you can come into dreams. See, dreams. You can come into questions, and you can title it. And then of course you've got your body. You see that? And they'll just go one after the other, and they'll all be posted there, and people can just come log in. See, there's somebody else logged in, and they can come in and just post questions, and people can do, I mean, just a whole group of people can get together and just, ask questions to each other, search things out, maybe do prayer. And guys, by the way, this is all live feed. So if I entered something, it would come in right away. And as soon as somebody logs in or logs out, it lets us know. And if there's a new message, the new message will come up right away. See? I can click on messages, and whatever is new that I haven't seen, there will be a circle, like a green or a red circle, that will let me know that I've got a new message. All right? So guys, it's really, really easy. I pray that you guys will come and use it. All right? How do I close it? Anyways. So it's very simple to use. All right? You just click on, see, you can just click on them. And this has all the categories that are listed here, right? That's why it's under all posts. go over here and you can search out the other ones. All right. So I wanted to share that with you guys. It's exciting news. It's a great feature that many of you guys were looking forward to. In particular, the prayer requests, right? I think that's a big deal to have this available, to pray for people, whether it's prayers for within our own families or with friends that we'd like to add. I'll be adding one later for another sister in Christ here on the channel as well, in the ministry as well. And guys, so just, it's easy to come and check out regularly, and it's super easy to log out. Just come over here to your name, drop it, boom, you're logged out. All right. So that's why I see it right off the bat, log in and post. So it won't let me post again unless I log in. Okay. And you can log in with Facebook, Twitter, all of your different accounts like we've spoken of before. All right. So with that out of the way, I will have a separate video so we won't have to go into that all the time in other videos. All right. I might show some of the forums at times, but it won't be a how to use it. And then you guys go in there and you can play around yourselves as well. All right. So watch this. I've been looking at this one for the last couple days, and it ties in with what we were talking about in Deuteronomy 32, verse 30. Remember that? Their rock is not our rock, right? The little r, capital R. And it has to do with the times, right? The Assyrian, who is the Antichrist, correct? And then there's the false prophet with them. And then later, we know that Satan is coming, right? Satan is Nebuchadnezzar, is the understanding of Nebuchadnezzar here. All right? That's why we have here, Israel is a scattered sheep. The lions have driven him away. First, the king of Assyria has devoured him. And last, this Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, has broken his bones. All right? Which is pretty intense too, by the way. Has broken his bones. Look, to crunch bones. Why do you think it's to crunch bones? Because what do we know when Satan comes down, guys? It's the time of the giants. All the fallen angels, all of that stuff, guys. Remember what they were doing in the beginning? They were eating the people, right? There was no more food, there was no more animals, and they were just taking people and eating them. Yes, that's what it was like. That's what it was like. That's what the giants were doing. All right? It's real stuff, and it's coming again. That's how everything's going to come to an end. But that is only once Satan is here. All right? For those of you that are new, maybe this caught your attention because of the title or something. You have to understand, the tribulation has two sets of sevens. All right? There are two sets of sevens. There are 7 years for seals and 7 years for trumpets. And to understand a little bit better about it for those that are new, I would recommend you watch even the last video. You should watch the whole 3-part series called Operation 14 Years, which is in the playlist. But on top of that, if you want to understand a little bit better, watch the last video, which is part 4, pre, mid, and post. And it's the part 4 video on the study we're doing, on the study note series that we're doing. And you'll see that the first 7 years is the pre-trip escape, the mid-trip, right, and the post-trip. It all fits in within those 7 years that this understanding has been so distorted and misunderstood because it just wasn't yet the season. Well, now it's being revealed. All right? And this time of the Assyrian is during the seals. This time of Nebuchadnezzar comes during trumpets. All right? The Antichrist is during seals. The time of Satan is during trumpets. All right? Those that are new to the channel, I'm not going to go down that road today. You're going to have to watch those previous videos. But guys, this is what kind of got me going from what we chatted about either the last video or the video before, when we said, again, Deuteronomy 32:30, 1, chasing 1,000, and 2, putting to flight 10,000, right? That's the difference between Judah and Israel, right? The lost tribes compared to Judah, all right? The thousands compared to the thousands of thousands compared to the 10,000 times 10,000, all right? So I started on this, and then last night I just had this inkling to go read some more of Second Ezra. Now, I've read Second Ezra, but like I said, as we continue to grow and learn, more understanding just comes to light, and it's really quite wild. All right? And it ties into this other study that I haven't done yet. I'm sorry, that I'm doing. I've got some tabs open up here for it. And it's that you see here in Jeremiah 51, and we also find it in Jeremiah 10. And you'll find a lot of this wording is similar in both, but also slightly different. And we know what that means here on this channel, that one is speaking to the church, right? To the lost tribes, and the other one, is speaking to Judah. All right? And when we see it in both, we see a lot of this for vanity of their works and so forth, but this is very different, right? And then we see here, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance, right? Who is the rod of the inheritance? Of course, when the Lord comes, but who else does the Lord give the power to as being rods, right? The 144,000, right? They're going to be going out throughout the nations. Who else? The two witnesses that'll remain there, right? So that's going to be the time of Jacob. Why? The time of Jacob's trouble is at trumpets. Okay? So that's going to be for another study. But this one here, like I showed a moment ago, is first the king of Assyria devoured them, and last this King Nebuchadnezzar. You see, when people look, without going too far down this, when people look at the tribulation and think 7 years, it is just so, I mean, even once you start to slightly understand, guys, and even those who don't yet understand that are new to the channel, just think about it. Has 7 years ever truly made sense to you? Most people on this channel that have been led here, there's many stories of them that I received in emails and in comments of people saying they were praying for a greater understanding because they've been so confused with this 7 years and where things are fitting. It just isn't making any sense. And they were led to this channel, and when they saw the 14 years, and when they saw that Psalms 90 and 10, 70 years to 80, and then soon, and then fly away, that equals the total 14 years, then you realize, oh my goodness, how could we have had it wrong all this time? And I've discussed in another video, the reason we've had it wrong is because it wasn't yet the time to understand it. All right? This past year, it's been revealed. And now we're understanding it, and we're digging into the books, which is why I said, even from that last video, part 4, I will be doing a part 4B and most likely a part 4C to show those books that have been opening that reveal with absolute certainty the truth of the 14 years. And even in what we're going to touch on today, it's going to lead us into some of that understanding as well. It's going to take us, as it takes us into the book of Hosea and so forth. But what I want to do is, guys, we've talked about this person before, and I'm going to show you some more things that, it's really looking like this guy. And if his dad dies somewhere, I'd say even before the end of December, yep, maybe January 1st, 2nd, yep, if he dies, get ready, because this will absolutely 100% confirm that this guy is going to be the Antichrist. All right? He has done many things that just seem so, what? And so that's what we're really going to go in here to today. But it all came about this morning because of 2nd Ezra. All right? So 2nd Ezra, I decided to do a search, like we were saying, do a Control F and type in 7 days and then just do a little rehash of where this 7 days shows up and the number of times and so forth. And going into chapter 13, as always, we see here, look, after 7 days, I dreamed a dream in the night, and behold, there arose out of the sea, from the sea, and stirred up all the waves in its water. I'm not going to go into that because many of you guys are going to shake your head and say, what on earth? That can't be possible. So I'm not going to go into the understanding, except just to say, to lay out from the start, that you see it said after 7 years. Okay? We're going to go further down into this one, though. You'll see. And it'll tie into what we're talking about. And it's this that led me into this revelation that I'm going to show you. So after this, I looked, and behold, an innumerable number of men were gathered together from the four winds of heaven to make war against the man who came up out of the sea. And I looked, and behold, he carved out for himself a great mountain and flew upon it. And I tried to see the region of the place where the mountain was carved, but I could not. After this, I looked, and behold, all who had gathered against him to wage war with him were much afraid, yet dared to fight. Okay, this is the Lord coming on Mount Zion. And this multitude, this is the heavens on earth, all right? This isn't the heaven up in the sky. This is the on earth, all right, from the four corners. And it says, he flew on a great mountain. All right, this is the Lord coming on Mount Zion. And everybody was terrified. We've talked about this before. Remember, everybody is freaking out, but they leave the fighting that they had in their own nations. All right, so they stop all of their fighting from their nations, and they're going to come against the Lord on this mountain, whatever this is going to look like. Okay, and then he's going to destroy them. Now, when is this? Remember, we've talked about this before. A lot of people just don't get it when I show this. This is part of the book's opening. Remember, we said Ezekiel 33 is the year 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Ezekiel 38 and 39 war of Gog and Magog is when the Lord comes at the end of the seals, of the sixth seal. See, what have they been doing since the red horse rider? Right? Since the second seal. What have they been doing since the second seal? War. Right? They've been warring and fighting against each other. Nation against nation, right? People against people. Neighbor against neighbor. And then by the pale horse rider, they're killing the Christians. Right? There's going to be the prison camps. It's going to be what I call the purposeful killing of Christians. And then what do you have? The sixth seal. Right? And what do you see after the sixth seal? They say mountains, and they're all hiding up in the mountains. Everybody's hiding out in the mountains, freaking out, and saying, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath has come. So what's happening? People are seeing him. All right? People are seeing him. Which is why, going back to this, which is why, you see it says, they were much afraid, yet they dared fight. All right? And then he's going to devour them. He's going to kill them without weapon, without spear or anything, but with fire out of his mouth. See? This is when he destroys them in the war of Gog and Magog. All right? When they come and surround Israel. All these were mingled together, the stream of fire from his mouth. And when I saw it, I was amazed. After this, after this, I saw the same man come down from the mountain and called to him another multitude, which was peaceful. So this first group that comes against him is the war of Gog and Magog, and he's going to destroy them, just like we see at the end of the Gog-Magog war, which is the year 2023, 2024. They see him coming, and then they're going to come to fight against them, and the Lord is going to destroy them with his consuming breath, right? Stream of fire. And then what? Well, when we read at the end of Ezekiel 39, we go into Ezekiel 40, what do you see? Right? At the end of 39, which is the year 2024, what do we see? We see they're burning the weapons for 7 years. Those 7 years are during the time of trumpets. You see, so after this battle is taken, they seen him on this great mountain. People are freaking out. Yet, like we see at the end of the sixth seal, but they leave all their fighting. They go to make war against him. He destroys them, and then look what it says. And then he comes down from the mountain and he takes a multitude that is peaceable. That's peaceful. Who is the great multitude that he's going to take that's more peaceable? Guys, we know this stuff. It's all revealed, right? We know this. He seals the 144,000, and then what? The rapture of the great multitude. All of this is in order. But now watch as he goes into greater detail. The interpretation. So this is the interpretation of the vision. I'm not going to go into that one coming up out of the sea. Like I said, you guys are going to be like, what? So, behold, the days are coming when the Most High will deliver those who are on the earth. Who's that? Us. Those, we pray us, those who are found accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. This comes first. And look, and bewilderment of mind shall come over those who dwell on the earth. Those who are left are going to be freaking out and wondering what happened. You got to imagine all the destruction that's taken place as well. And then what happens? Remember, this is the interpretation of the vision. So it's going back to tell them everything in order. All right? The escape of the bride. People being bewildered and not understanding what happened unless they've what? I'll tell you unless they've what? Unless hopefully some of our USBs that we put out through this ministry, they've seen or they received it and somebody else grabs it and watches it and they can understand what has happened. And for all of those of us around the world who have, not only in this ministry but in others as well, who have left letters for those left behind. Right? We've got video teachings to help these people. Okay? They'll be bewildered. They're not going to understand what happens. And then what's going to happen? Then they'll plan to make war against each other, city against city, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Where do we see that? Right? Guys, it's the red horse rider. When peace is taken from the earth, that they should kill one another with a great sword. Where else do we see it? In Luke, in his discourse, in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, but in Luke's, you'll see the difference with Luke is he says, then he said unto them, because Luke is speaking to the bride, Mark is speaking to the church, the lost tribes, and Matthew is speaking to Judah. And only in Luke do you see, then he said unto them, because Luke knows all things. And here he's saying, not for my group, the bride, I heard him saying unto them is the understanding. Nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. You see that? It's the same thing in order. When does this happen though? Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. It begins after the bride has been taken out. And look at who takes out the Most High, the bride, by the way, guys. The Most High. You see that? This is he whom the Most High has been keeping for many ages, who himself shall deliver his creation. So see, you have the Most High. This is God, and he's talking about his son, Jesus, all right? And you see that later. So, look, the days are coming when the Most High, when God will deliver those who are on the earth. Where do we see this? This is amazing. Some of this stuff I didn't have planned to go into. I'm going to show you this. I just love the way this stuff ties in. Remember, what else can we show? That Acts 15, we showed is also the year 2018. And without going too far into it, the Sanhedrin, the Pharisees over in Israel, they said that it would be needful to go back and to keep all of the commandments of the laws of Moses. But the apostles in the old days here, when they wrote this, they said, "What on earth are you guys doing? Why do you tempt God and put this yoke, a burden, back on the neck of the disciples?" The disciples is Judah. All right? Why are you putting this burden? It's the understanding of Judah, right? The book of Matthew. Why are you putting this burden back upon our necks that we're not able to bear? Neither were our fathers. You see, Israel in, I think it was July of 2018, they brought the yoke back upon their necks that nor their fathers were even able to handle, because they refused to accept that Jesus Christ is the Messiah. So they've replaced the burden on their necks. This happened in 2018. And then what do we see next? They held their peace, but watch this. This is why I'm bringing it up. What happens after them putting the burden on? In 2018 that happened. There's going to be the Middle East peace deal. If this is not the global one, that's going to come later, right? That'll be towards the end of SEALs. What's coming is the Middle East peace deal. Get ready for it. All right? I saw something, I didn't watch the whole video, but I saw something that it might even be, another 2 or 3 months away. Man, I got to tell you, I don't know if they're just doing that on purpose to keep people away from talking about it, but we also remember that Macron also, remember? We spoke about Macron and that he also wants to put out a peace deal if Trump won't do it. How can Trump, by the way, how can Trump wait 2 or 3 more months with Jared Kushner to do this peace deal when they're looking to indict him and they're going to take over control of the House sometime in early January? So you see, it doesn't mean he can't do the peace deal after. It's just he's going to have a lot of things to deal with, because what do we know here on this channel, guys? Trump's days are going to be cut short, or his presidency is going to be cut short. He will not complete his first term because tribulation is about to begin. All right? We've taught that here on this channel. We know that now. I can even say for myself, I know it for a fact. We've been revealed the final 14 years, and it just so happens the 70th year is 14 years away from the return of Christ, like he said, after 2 days, which is the true 6,000th year. And then what comes after that year is the Jubilee. Come on, guys. We know it. It's about to happen. And wait till you see what I'm showing you little as we keep going here. Okay? So we have the Middle East peace deal that comes next, but then look what it says. Simon has declared how God at the first did visit the Gentiles to take out of them a people for his name, and this agree the words of the prophets as it is written. After this, I will return. Second time. Not return feet down. This isn't feet down. He is coming to take us out, the bride out. This one is when the Lord will return at the rapture, see, and will build again the tabernacle of David. We've covered this as well. Where do we see this when he's going to return and they're going to rebuild? Again, we've done it. We can go into Ezekiel 40, which comes after the Gog-Magog war, and you start reading for 3.5, which is actually 4 chapters. You're going to read that they're rebuilding the city and the streets and the temple. All right? Which was fallen down, and I will build again the ruins thereof and set up. You see? All in order. But this is what I wanted to get at for what I was talking about here. That God did first come and visit to take out a people for his name. See, behold, the days are coming when the Most High will deliver those that are on the earth. See? In whom the Most High God has been keeping this one to deliver his creation. That's Jesus. See that? It lines up in the proper time frame, and that it says God's doing it. Oh, you know what else it lines up with? Watch this. Sorry, guys, I wasn't planning on going down some of these trails, but they tie in perfectly. I can't help it. Psalms 18. What do we talk about in Psalms 18? I called upon the Lord, they compassed me about, and in my distress. This is the year 2018, because there's going to be a massive earthquake that's going to hit the west coast of America. And there's going to be other chaoses around the world as well, but that is going to be the major one. It's not a great earthquake, but it's going to be a massive one. It's not the great one that rips America apart or anything like that. It is not the sixth seal great earthquake. It is an earthquake that begins. See, there's a mystery, guys. There is a mystery of the events that happen first. You see, there is a group called the Bride of Christ that escapes, and there's an earthquake, and then the bride escapes, and it's revealed to us in Psalms 18 and all of these books and chapters that relate to the 2018. Just like we saw there in Hosea as well, with God coming and taking out a people for himself. And then the seals will go, and then there's going to be another great earthquake, and then what? He takes out another people. That's the rapture. And then what happens at the end of trumpets? At the end of the sixth trumpet, just like at the end of the sixth seal? We see what? We see another great earthquake. And what great earthquake is that? That is the Lord returning feet down on the Mount of Olives and splitting the Mount of Olives in two. That is the great earthquake at the end of the sixth seal. Which is why everybody that's left there says, oh, they give praise to the Lord, and because it's the Lord's return. You see that? That's the feet down Mount of Olives return, Zechariah 14, in the 14th year, which is the year 2031. It's so amazing, guys. But there's this mystery of the one that comes first. You can say it's the end of the first 7 years, and then the beginning, there's the next 7, right? But there's this earthquake that is going to take place, and then what? A bride is going to be taken out. And that's exactly what we see here. And who takes this one out? See, and in my distress, I called upon the Lord, and he heard out of his temple, his ears did hear. The earth shook and trembled. The foundations, also the hills were moved because he was wroth. And there went up smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth, devouring coals. He bowed the heavens, and look, and he rode upon a cherub, and did fly. Yes, he did fly upon the wings of the wind. He made darkness his secret place. See, and the Lord also thundered the heavens of the Most High. And what does he do? And I saw the channels of water were seen. The foundations of the world were discovered. Why? Because that's how massive that earthquake is going to be on the west coast. And then what does it say? He sent from above. He took and he drew us out of many waters, and he delivered us from our strong enemy. And what did he do? He set us forth in a large place. He delivered us because he delighted in us. This is speaking to the bride. This, guys, is prophetic. It has never happened. This is the 2018 about to happen. All right? And who took us out? It says the Lord God. Right? The Lord, all capitals, took us out. My God, my strength. And then we see in the New Testament, we see that it said God. And then what else do we see? We see the same thing revealed to us now here in 2nd Ezra. Okay? So here we go. War against war, kingdom against kingdom, nation against nation, people against people. And remember, he's telling them the interpretation of the vision. So then they're going to all make war against each other. So I've taken out a group for myself, which is the bride. Everybody's going to be confused. Peace is taken now from the earth, and now it's war, people against people, nation against nation, and so forth. And when these things come to pass, this is also, I planned on doing a video on this from Matthew, Mark, and Luke in the discourses, a study on come to pass, all these things and come to pass, all right? So when these things come to pass and the signs occur, all right, The signs that we're waiting for, because Revelation 12:1 was not the sign yet, which I showed you before, like he showed earlier, right? This is the interpretation. Then my son will be revealed, whom you saw as him coming up from the sea. My son will be revealed. When is he going to be revealed? After the escape of the bride, nation against nation, signs, right? All these wars and the beheadings and everything was taking place. And then there's going to be signs in the heavens and so forth. And then he's going to be revealed. Well, we just covered this earlier, right? This is the end of the sixth seal. And now he's explaining to him more. And when all the nations hear his voice, every man shall leave his own land, and the warfare, see, because they were warring the whole time, fighting each other, and the warfare that they have one against another, and an innumerable multitude shall gather together, as you saw, desiring to come to conquer them. Remember, when this Mount Zion comes, what on earth is that going to look like? Right? What is that going to look like, this mountain above? Right? Let me show you a little image that's going to lead into what we're talking about. Check this out. This is from our brother in Christ. I don't want to say his name, but our brother in Christ in Saudi Arabia. I showed you this picture before that he sent me, and it's on the walls in Saudi Arabia. What does that look like? Looks like a mountain carved out, right? Where is it? Look at that. It's in the sky. This son of a gun had the nerve to have this be designed as his special city, his new Babylon, if you will, that's supposed to open for 2030 or something like that, 2030, 2031. And this is what they're saying is in jeopardy because of that Khashoggi news guy that was killed, the reporter. All right? He's the one they're calling vile, all right, for having done what he did. But look at this. This is my point. We'll get into him more in a bit. Look, like a mountain carved out. Remember returning on Mount Zion? You see that? You see? And they're going to come and conquer him. But he shall stand on the top of Mount Zion that we saw what? Carved out of a mountain. But he didn't see where in this vision, he didn't see where it was carved out from. All right? And Zion will come and be made manifest to all people, prepared and built, as you saw a mountain carved out without hands. We read that in Daniel as well, don't we? This is the Lord returning on Mount Zion. And what does it say? Prepared and built. Where do we know that's coming for prepared and built, guys? We've covered this many, many times. What do we know about John 14? It's the year 2024. Well, what year is the sixth seal, the end of the sixth seal? 2024. The year of the rapture. The 144,000 getting sealed, and then the rapture. And then in 2025, the Lord is now established, just like we see in Revelation 14. He's now on Mount Zion with the 144,000 and in Jerusalem. Not feet down on Mount of Olives yet, because he's not staying. So if these are the last 21 years on earth, we should be able to find something in the year 2024, just like we've been talking about, that would relate to the time frame when the Lord is coming on Mount Zion, which would be after the sixth seal, right? Well, let's go. John 14 for the year 2024, and what do we see? In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself. We've covered this in the last couple of videos too. Receive you. Who gets received? Guests. Hence the rapture. The rapture is the year 2024, when he comes on Mount Zion. They don't get raptured right away, which is why they don't know when the time's going to be. Right? That's why we see that in in Mark's discourse. They don't know when it's going to be exactly. How about in Matthew's discourse? Right? Nobody knows the day or hour there either. But in Luke's discourse, it does not say that. Because just like 1 Thessalonians 5, we will know this season and time that we're in, and it is coming to an end. We have less than 5 months. And I don't even believe we'll get into maybe 2 months. All right? So here is that place prepared for you, just like he said. And Zion will come to be made manifest to all people, prepared and built. I go and prepare a place for you, that where I go I may receive you unto myself, that where I am there you may be also. And what's built? Your many mansions, your new bodies. Amazing, amazing stuff. All right? Now, you guys can read this if you want, but I want to show you some crazy good stuff, all right? So now he's on Mount Zion. So he explained what happened, right? Everything is in perfect order. Actually, let's just read through this part real quick. And he, my son, will reprove the assembled nations for their ungodliness. This was symbolized by the storm. And I will reproach them from their face, to their face, for their evil thoughts that they have tormented and tortured. And I will destroy them without effort by the law, symbolized by the fire. Watch this. And as for you seeing him gather to himself another multitude that was peaceable, you see? He's come now, he's destroyed those people in the Gog-Magog war. And then what happens? Now Mount Zion has come to be made manifest. The place prepared and built. And then what does he do? Remember, this is the interpretation of the vision. So now what comes next is the peaceable ones, right? And as for you having seen the group, the multitude that was peaceable, remember, seventh seal, the rapture group. Look at that, just like we've been teaching. These are the 10 tribes. Who did Jesus come for? The lost tribes, right? The 10 tribes. So these are the 10 tribes which were led away from their own land into captivity in the days of King Hosea. For those who are on this channel and have been following for a little while, you're going to get this right away. King Hosea. Remember, what do we teach? Look at Hosea has 14 chapters. Why? It was revealed to us several months ago. Hosea has 14 chapters because it correlates to the final 14 years of the tribulation. 7 of seals, 7 of trumpets. People get confused. They say, but everybody said it's 7 years, it's 7 years. Well, everybody that's talking 7 years are Gentiles. And what they've done is, in the 7 years of seals is all to the Gentiles. Right? Into the lost tribes. And what's happening is they've mixed and said 3.5 years in seals and 3.5 years of trumpets, and it's wrong. All right? It's 7 years of seals, and then it'll be the rapture, but there's a group that goes first. Again, watch the last video. This is one of those books that we're going to talk about in part 4B and or C. All right? This is talking to the church. Okay? And just like when we go into Zechariah 14, Zechariah also has 14 chapters. Why? Because Zechariah is also the only 2 books in the Old Testament that have 14 chapters. One is speaking to the church, one is speaking to Judah. Both in events that will take place in the 14 final years. And what do we see? We've spoken about this with Hosea before. What do we see in Hosea? Chapter 1, verse 2. The beginning of the word of the Lord by Hosea. And the Lord said unto Hosea, Go, take unto thee a wife of whoredom, and children of whoredoms. This is called the escape of the bride. Right here in chapter 1. And remember, guys, a year goes from spring to spring. It is necessary to understand that. It's all about when it was changed a few hundred years ago by Rome, and it's where April Fools comes from, because that used to be the time. It's all revealed in it. All right? Just like, so here's the church one, and what happens right away in the first year? The bride is going. Right? Who's the bride of whoredom? We are. Right? We can say the Gentiles or the lost tribes. Right? There's, of the Gentiles, there is a portion of the Gentiles that are being taken out first. The bride. When we go into Zechariah 1, what do we see? We see, without going too far into it again, we see red horse among the myrtle trees. Right? I think it's a super blood red moon, right? On Tu B'Shavat, the Festival of Trees. This happened in 2018 in January, but guess what? This is also happening again on January 21st. Very interesting. A super blood red moon on the Festival of Trees, January 21st. And look at what it says next. How long will you not have mercy on Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, against which you have had indignation? These, meaning currently, 70 years. We're right now in the 70th, and January 21st will also fit being in the 70th. Look what comes next. I am very sore displeased at those that are at ease, at peace and safety. I was a little displeased, but now I'm sore displeased. And look, and they helped forward the affliction, which we've covered many times. This is tribulation. See, guys, this is all in order. When is the time of Hosea? During the time of the Assyrian. See, the lost tribes. The lost tribes, right? The church that was left behind. See that? This is the peaceful group here that's been taken. Where are they being taken? This is the rapture, remember? Follow this all in order, like we were saying. See, now place prepared and built. So now what's happening is it's the rapture of those who woke up during the seals tribulation. This peaceable group. All right? These are the 10 tribes which were led away from their own land into captivity in the days of King Hosea. This could very well be Trump. Right? A type and shadow of Trump, okay? In the days of King Hosea, who shall menser, wait till you see this, the king of the Assyrians led captive. Okay? The Assyrian, the Antichrist, is the one who led captive the church, the lost tribes, the 10 tribes. When King Hosea was in charge. You see, just like the 14 years of Hosea, the church group that we've been teaching here, right? It could have easily said Judah, but it's not the time of Judah. Remember that? It's not the time of Judah. Why isn't it the time of Judah? Because the portion of Jacob for Jacob's trouble is not like them. See? Is not like them. First, the king of Assyria has devoured them. First, the king of Assyria who comes against the church and the lost tribes. Speaking of the Hosea portion, the seals. Watch this. And Shulemancer, and I was like, who the heck is Shulemancer, the Assyrian king? I don't know that name. Check this out. I do a word search, just type in Shulemancer. That's it. And it brings up Shulemancer the fifth. And there's a reason. Watch this. Watch this. There were 5 of them, but the 5th one was the biblical one that conquered the northern kingdom. All right? The lost tribes. It's happened in history. We know it's going to repeat itself. All right? So we look at this Shuleman the fifth. All right? We're going to touch on that in a second. But check this out. How many years did he reign as king? 5 years. About 5 years, give or take, right? Guys, that's exactly what we've been teaching on this channel. Oh, and it gets better. It is exactly what we've been teaching on this channel. When he gets power to continue 42 months, but he is in power for an undetermined amount before that, right? This whole thing from here to here, which is the first 3 to 4, well, right up to the 4th seal, is 3.5 years. He doesn't come into power right away. He gets his power at some point in here. We are not given the exact time of when he comes in power. This Antichrist character. Look at Revelation 13. See, and I saw the beast come up out of the sea. This isn't the same sea, all right? Having said this has nothing to do. That's why I don't want you guys to get all confused and say, oh, that's not the Lord, that's not the Lord. I know, this is the Antichrist, all right? And come up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns and crowns upon his head, and name of blasphemy. And I looked, and behold, it looked like a leopard, a lion, a bear, and so forth. And one of his heads was wounded, as it were, unto death. But see, what happened up here? He was given, the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and his authority. And war broke out, right? One of his heads was wounded. It was healed. The whole world wondered after him, right? And they start worshiping the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, and who shall make war with him? And then what happens? And power was given unto him. Such an important word, such an important word. To continue 42 months. To continue 42 months. I always say about the time of the Pale Horse Rider, the 4th seal. He's going to continue for about 42 months. But he was in power for an undisclosed amount of time here. I believe it'll be about the 3 and 2.5. I believe it's probably similar to about 5, maybe 5.5 or so years. Okay? So let's check this out. Okay? So for about 5 years, he rules. But who is this guy? Watch this. Okay? He appears as governor of Samaria. That's his father that reigned before him, and evidence pertaining to his reign is scarce. On his death of his father, he is succeeded to the throne of Assyria. On the 25th day of Tebet, 727 BC. Okay? Let's look at something. This year, on the Hebrew calendar, the 25th of Tevet falls on January 2nd, 2019. I say, hold on to your horses. We're just getting started. Okay? And changed his original name of, I'm going to destroy this, Eulale, that's all I'm going to call him, Eulale, to the Attican name was suggested to continue Eulale for his throne, the king of Babylonia. This has not been found to be authentic. This is just regarding him keeping his name longer. The name Shalmaneser is used for him in the Bible, which attributes to him the final conquest of the kingdom of Samaria. I believe, guys, that this is America, all right? Israel is America, right? The lost tribes is the West, specifically America. And Judah is the land of Israel, okay? And the deportation of Israelites, according to 2 Kings, chapters 17 and 18, Shalmaneser accused Hosea, king of Israel, of conspiring against him by sending messages to Pharaoh of Egypt and captured him. Hello? If this is a type and shadow of Trump, King Hosea, over the lost tribes of Israel, not the nation, right? Remember, they were scattered, they were spread out. We're talking end times here. There is a final conquest. And where is Israel? Scattered throughout the nations, but who is the head of them? America. Where are all the dreams and visions of people throughout the earth are having dreams and visions that it's America? And this Eulale, Shalmaneser, is upset with, quote unquote, King of America for conspiring against him with Egypt. I say we pay attention to that. So we have 5 years that this one, the Assyrian king, would be in charge. Well, guess what? If it was only 7 years of tribulation, this wouldn't make sense. But it's not. It's 14 years. And how long is he going to be in charge for? The 42 months and for a period of time before that. Okay? And when did he take power? The 25th day of Tebet, which is this year, January 2nd, 2019. So if we take January 2nd, 2019, all right, January 2nd, 2019, and we add 5 years, because it's about 5 years, he'll be in power until what? 2024. Which is the year of what? When the Lord returns on Mount Zion and destroys all the nations, stop fighting against each other, and they all come against the Lord to destroy them. And in what year have we been teaching this? What year is the end of Revelation 6, the sixth seal, when they see the Lord coming? That's right. 2024. Oh, we're not done yet. All right. Now, so we've got the 2nd of January 2019 as a date to look for. We know we're in the year 2018 and the tribulation is about to begin, and there's less than 5 months to go. This king, who became king of Assyria, the 5th one, changed his original name of Eulale. That was his original name. All right? Let's go see what the meaning of Eulale is. And all I've done was meaning of name Eulale. I didn't put it in brackets. I think the system did that. The meaning of name Eulale. You ready? Eulale is The Crown Prince. The Crown Prince. Let that sink in for a minute. The Crown Prince. And he ends up ruling. See, they've even got it for 4, but we know that it was about 5, right? The Crown Prince. When you type into Google Crown Prince, you get the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. And who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? That is MBS, Mohammed bin Salman. Remember what we know about Mohammed bin Salman? His father, who is the current king, is 83 years old. We did a video on that I believe relates to this as well, which we did on Daniel 11. See, and this prince shall have his estate, shall be so much greater than the rest, right? His wealth, tell me of one that's wealthier. There is none, right? But watch this. Watch this. In Daniel 11 verse 20, then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes. MBS, Prince bin Salman, right, the Saudi Arabian prince, who is next in line to the throne, his father, for the first time in history, has instituted a 5% tax on Saudi Arabians for the first time in history. And it starts, it started January 1st, I believe it was, 2018. In the glory of the kingdom, but within a few days, we know it often means years, and in this case it does, within a few years, he shall be destroyed, neither by anger nor in battle. I believe he's going to die of old age. He's been in power for about 3.5 years or so, which is a few years, and I told you in the video I did on this that he's about to die. The king of Saudi Arabia will soon die. Excuse me. And I believe he'll die, like I was saying at the beginning, I believe he will die before the end of December. But no later than January 2nd, if this is to be understood as who this player is. And in his estate shall stand up a vile person. Who's been called vile lately? Remember with the Khashoggi killing? They're blaming on Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, the crown prince. They're calling him vile, that this murder was a vile, gruesome murder, and that this would only be done by a vile person. See, by a vile person to whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom. Well, why don't they want to give him the honor of the kingdom? He's only, guess how old he is? 33 years old. He spent $450 million for the Leonardo da Vinci painting of Jesus. I think that's just a whole gimmick. I think it's just moving money. So he's paying somebody something. All right? But he shall come in peaceably and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. Look at this guy. This is him, Mohammed bin Salman. Look at what the Red Horse Rider. People were talking about this like crazy at the G20 that just happened. Putin and Mohammed bin Salman, huge smiles giving high fives. Huge smiles giving high fives, laughing and giggling with each other the whole time. He's coming in peaceably. How is he coming in peaceably? Because him and some of those other nations have got a deal to sign and understand what Trump's peace deal is for Israel. And he's going to, a vile one who's going to come in peaceably, whose name means the king of Assyria. And who is he going to make this all happen with? Red Horse Rider? Right? Whose army is he going to have to help invade America with? That's right. Don't you think Trump knows why he wants to build that wall? Right? It's not a gimmick. He wants to stop these guys from coming through. Go look at everybody who's down in South America right now doing deals with everybody. It's amazing stuff. Well, guess what? It's still not over. Because on the 25th, which is the 2nd, see, and it says Eulale. Let's go back to Eulale. Right? Eulale, which means crown, well, which is the crown prince, his birth name, and means born in Elul. You guys following this? Born in Elul, which is what? About mid-August to early mid-September, right? Oh, yeah. You guessed it. You guessed it. 33 years old, youngest military leader of any army on earth. He's next in line to the throne. He is the crown prince, Eulale. Came into office as the incumbent, as the one who's going to take over next, when his father dies, I believe within about 2.5 weeks. And he's going to assume the office at 33 years old, the richest ever of the nations of in history, right? For their land, like Daniel 11 was saying. And guess when he was born? August 31st. Can't make this stuff up. Can't make this stuff up, guys. This was the king of Assyria, the Antichrist. His name was Eulale. That is the crown prince. And his name means born in August, September. Crown prince is Saudi Arabia. The one in line is 33 years old, who's going to have military prowess because having been the youngest ever. And his vision 2030 that everybody is saying is in jeopardy because of this killing by a vile person that they're not going to want to give the crown the crown to, if you will. But he's going to take it by flatteries. His vision 2030. This is it. The mountain carved out without hands in the sky above. Better be paying attention. And he was born in Elul. Smack dab in the middle of Elul at 33 years old. Guys, I hope you followed that. I was not looking for it. I was just led to open this book. Out of all the books that I have, I was led to open this book and just keep reading a little bit further, just read a little bit further. And then you could see where all those that are in the land, right, where they get taken to through the narrow passages and where they're being led to. They're protected by the Lord as they go on their journey. This says it takes them 1.5 years to get there. It'll probably take them a year, and they'll hang out for a little bit and take them 1.5 years to get back. Hence 3.5 years. The final 3.5 years. Isn't it crazy? The 10 tribes which were led away from their own land into captivity in the days of King Hosea, who Shulamiter, the king of the Assyrians, led captive. Guys, this is the seals right here. This is the king of Assyria coming into power. He's upset with King Hosea, who did a side deal, who did something with Egypt, the leader of Egypt, against him. And this Shulamiter, Eululia, whatever it was, is going to be upset. And what is he going to do? We know from scriptures. He's going to go take out the king of Egypt, who King Hosea had made a deal with behind the crown prince's back. And this king of Assyria would appear to be taking, where is it? To be taking his seat and his authority maybe even as soon as January 2nd. Nothing new under the sun, right? What was is. There's nothing new under the sun. Could you imagine that? Everything in order, like we've been teaching here on this channel for a year now. Never having looked up this name in my life. Standing there right in front of us. This whole time, having read this book for over probably a couple years now. Right there. The king of Assyria. That is unbelievable. I know about you guys. I love this stuff. I love it when we can do some real world digging as well. And just be led and led and led, and more is revealed. Right? Why is he only in power for about 5 years? Look at the other kings. They were all longer. He's the only one, the final one, who is the biblical one. And he only lasted 5 years. And it just so happens from that date, puts it at the Lord coming on Mount Zion, which he even portrays himself with. Crazy, 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 crazy stuff. Look at that. Who has a name that means born in Elul? Who's a crown prince? Guys, I love it. God is good. God is always faithful, always true, and it's just up to us as he's leading us to understand it and to put the pieces together and to dig and to pray on it. Guys, be repentant daily, like Paul said. I die daily in the Lord. Why? Because we sin daily. We have to get cleansed, wash ourselves of it. Right? Sin no more, guys. Stay away from it. Drop those bad habits like a hot potato. We have to get clean now. It's coming to an end. The beginning of the end, I should say. Twice now, or 3 times I've been led to this guy. Do we absolutely know for sure? No, I don't. Remember, these things were mysteries. You know, we can understand the scriptures, but to know exactly, I mean, oh my goodness, do we ever understand end time scriptures now? But to understand exactly who the people are, you know, or who, like for example, Mystery Babylon, guys. Mystery Babylon, right? These things are still mysteries. Why do you think people can say this here or that there, or America, or Rome, or Greece, or Saudi Arabia, or this one or that one, or Bin Salman, or like we talked about before, Macron, or Trump, or Putin, or all of these people, Obama? Why is it still so mixed up? Because those mysteries we don't yet know for sure. Right? However, on this channel, I've been led to this sucker 3 times now. Not having any intent whatsoever to look this guy up whatsoever. Not even in the least. Crazy. I love it, guys. I love it, and I love you guys. I look forward to you guys coming to the channel, coming to the website, and checking out the forums. You know, send us some messages, you know, get some conversations going amongst yourselves, you know, how to, you know, whatever it may be. All right. And don't forget, we can always use your help. We're helping out someone right now too. So donations that come in, that would be great. And we're going to help out some more. And we're going to keep putting USBs out and teachings and everything else. All right, guys? We love you. We thank you. God bless you. God bless your families. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.